Hey there, students. This is Mr. Briggs, and I am going to show you today how to make a birdhouse model. Now, the birdhouse model is something that we're going to be using to help us understand a little bit better the mistakes we might make when making the birdhouse, so that when we build our birdhouse, we've tried it out ahead of time. Models can help us build things better. So let's talk about the steps for building your birdhouse model. To build your birdhouse model, you are going to need 3 sheets of 3 half sheets of paper, and you can make these out of a regular sheet of paper that you just cut in half, hot dog style. You are going to need a copy of the directions to be somewhere near you so that you can totally have them ready when you need them. You're going to need to have a pencil. You're going to need to have a square somewhere at your table. There might not be a square for everybody, but you can share. I know you can use really good sharing language. You'll need a ruler. You'll need a scissors. And you will need a glue stick. So let's talk about how to get started. Okay, so the first thing I've got to do is I have to make my front and back. And this is by far the trickiest thing you've got to make. The bottom of this is 3 inches, and then we're going to have these true cross pieces for the roof. There might be a little bit extra. So I take my sheet of paper and I measure 3 inches from the top, and I measure 3 from the bottom. And if I did that right, I should get a pretty good right angle there. But I'm going to not cut this part. I just do that so that I make sure I've got a thing across there really good. Then I take my square. Now, a square is designed to be used against a table or against a board, so you're going to have to be really careful and make sure your square isn't too crooked. You don't want it looking like this. You don't want it looking like that. You want your square to be tight against the paper and tight against that first line, and I'm going to go across, okay, to make 1/2 of my roof. Then I'm going to flip it around and go the other way across. And now you see I've got my roof piece right here. I'm going to put my name on it. I'm going to put the hour on it. I'm going to make them nice and big so nobody can take my pieces. And then I'm going to cut out my roof. Okay? Now, I've got this other piece right here. And it kind of looks like a kitty. I'm going to cut off these 2 smaller triangles that I've made. And really, I've got the second part of my roof ready to go. All I've got to do is find the edge of my roof right here. And instead of measuring from the bottom, I'm going to measure from the top of my roof down. So I'm going to take my ruler again, and I'm going to measure 3 inches right there, and 3 inches right there. And if I draw my line, and if my math is good, I should have a nice even rectangle there, that extra. I'm going to label it again. Anytime I cut anything out, I want to have my name nice and big. I want to have the hour nice and big so they don't get lost. I also want to make sure I try to keep my area clean. I'm going to save these scraps. I'm going to need them later. So now I got my front and the back. Now I got to work on the next part. The next part are the sides and the floor. Now each side here is 3 inches and the floor is 5 inches. So I'm going to take this piece and I have to make my 2 sides. I'm going to mark 3 inches from the top and 3 inches from the bottom. Now I could either go 3 inches more, or I could just do 3 plus 3 and do 6 from the whole side, but I should have 3 inches further. And when I do those pieces, there's my 3-inch side, there's my 3-inch side. I'm going to label these nice and big, my name, so nobody gets them confused. That little bit of extra work, they're not going to go away. So now I have a side, and I have a side. And now I'm going to measure this part here, my floor, and you know what? This is 5 inches. So I'm going to mark 5 inches right here. And I'm going to go down here and mark 5 inches. And I'm going to connect those up. And I'm going to cut it. And this here is my floor. I'm going to label it. And I'm going to put my name on it. And I'm going to put the hour. So now I have my floor. Now I got to do my last 2 pieces, which is my roof, part 1, and roof part 2. For whatever reason, I got a blue piece of paper here. But each of these is going to be 5 inches. So I mark 5 inches here, and 5 inches here. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to do a line across there. I'm going to fold on that line. And now, if I take my ruler again, I'm going to double check my math though. Yep, that's 5 inches. And that's 5 inches. I now have my roof. Top and the bottom. I'm going to label my pieces. Okay, so let's talk about how to put this thing together. Now, I could use tape, but tape is really, really wasteful. Instead, I'm going to use a glue stick, okay, and I'm going to use some of this scrap that I've got. And the first thing I want to do is I want to think about dry fitting this. How am I going to lay this out? Well, I'm going to start with my floor. And I've got my floor and I've got my front or my back. That front or back is going to slide up this way, right? And make that back side. So I'm going to take a piece of scrap here. Okay. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on my piece of scrap. I'm basically making a piece of tape. Kind of like when we made the paper towers. And I'm going to lay it right there. Okay. And 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. I've got my back is now attached. And it looks a lot cleaner and a lot better than if it were tape. And honestly, it's a lot stronger. Glue is really, really strong. So, then... Sorry, my lights like to go out. I'm going to put my sides on. Now, some people put the sides like straight in the middle, and they go, Mr. Briggs, this side here doesn't fit. Something's broken. My side is not long enough. I've got some extra. Well, you'll notice that on your plan, your birdhouse has a little bit hanging off the end there. That's the deck. So... again, I'm going to just dry fit it and look, where do I want these sides to go? And I want that side to go right there. So I'm going to take a piece of scrap and attach it on the side right there. Okay. And 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. I'm pressing down really good. I can fold this up now and fold this up. And I have the corner of my house. And I want to connect those corners, so I'm going to use a piece of scrap again. And this time I'm going to put that piece of scrap on the inside. I'm going to fold it. Got a little glue on my hands, but no big deal. And I'm going to pinch it into that corner there. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. Oh, maybe a little bit better. I'm sure you could do a better job. And now I've got that wall on. Okay? And pretty soon, it's going to be easy for you to get the other wall on, the front, and the side. Now, a lot of people are, Mr. Briggs, how do you do the top? Well, the top, I like to put the top, instead of being lengthwise like that, we take our house and we go, okay, the top needs to fit on like that. So all I do is put these two side to side with a little bit of glue, piece of scrap, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, and bend it. And now I can just lay that on top, and I've got more than enough roof there to take my picture. So when it's all done, make sure that you take a picture of it. Make sure you get your name on absolutely every part of this so that you don't lose it. And make sure that if this doesn't get done in one day, you put all your pieces inside either the wooden tub that Mr. Briggs has for you or your cubby. Okay? You don't want to have to recut any pieces or remeasure any pieces. Take that extra time to label this thing. Okay? So, have some fun building your birdhouse, be creative, and good luck!